Good morning. My name is Olufumilaya Otubi, and today I want to talk about the midterm test that you are holding. How do you set your tests? Don't forget that assessment is about finding out how well and how much the children have learned, the learners have learned. This is the third quarter, or nearly time to round up the session. You've had the first term, the second term, this is the third term, half of the third term. So you want to test to see, okay, what they learned in first term, do they remember, second term, and so far. When you're phrasing your questions, don't forget that previously I had said that when you're doing assessments, you should have it in three aspects, the paper. So you have the multiple choice, maybe 20 questions for the mid elementary and upper elementary, and maybe 10 to 15 for the lower. And in those multiple choice questions, you have to have open-ended questioning. The what, the where, the how, the what, where, how, and maybe list. And then in the multiple choices you're going to give them ridiculous answers, the real answer, wrong spelling, correct spelling, and then you let them choose. What font has your school adopted to use for assessment? There should be a regular font, one that is easy for the learners to read. The font size, the font type, be particular, because your exam questions goes beyond, your exam question paper goes beyond your school, and people use it to judge the quality of your school. That's section A. Section B should be okay, because we have different types of learners. We talked about the high ability, the average, and the low ability. For the part B, it should be closed-ended, the cram and pour, Nigerian style. Oduduwa was born in 19 dash, complete the answers, or true and false. This one is for it doesn't require critical thinking to a large extent, but if they are good crammers, so to say, they pour it down and they score their 10 marks. That should be more than 10 marks. And then for the theory, you should have 3 to 5 theory questions in which you can see the high ability, exactly how high is the ability, the describe, the explain, this label, the tell us about part of the question that allows the child or the learner to be able to write out their thoughts on this topic. And so you have a balanced view of just how well and how much they have learned from what you've been teaching them. So it's about assessment, it's about midterm tests, halfway through the third term. How well have you tackled the curriculum for each subject, so that as a head of school, you are able to have an aerial view of how well the learners are doing. And then there are red flags for those that are going to repeat. Nowadays, we don't like to use the word repeat. They're paying so much to have to repeat. But if you keep on carrying dead wood, sorry to use that word with learners, you're going to create a problem for the teacher in the next class. So realistically, by this time, if they're still struggling to pass, then you have an indicator of those that you're going to have to either have summer lessons with, or they're going to repeat. So this has been Olufumilaya to be talking about real life assessment towards judging how far and how well the learners have learned for this academic session thus far. Don't forget multiple choice questions, closed-ended questions, the theory questions. Don't forget the font size, the font type. And there should be a cover sheet where the people invigilating will be able to write candidly in one sentence what that child or what that learner was doing during the exam. So you're going to have effective invigilation where answers are not discussed, where there's no writing on their knees or pieces of paper under the table, or showing their answers to their their peers. There's going to be, with the vision, the joint vision, the joint objective of being able to assess how well and how far. So have a beautiful week ahead.